So you've got a great idea, a new product, a big goal for your company. But how do you actually make it happen? How do you turn that vision into a reality? Well, the answer is project management. It's the engine that turns strategy into action. And today, we're going to pop the hood, break down how this whole engine works, and see why it's absolutely essential in our fast-changing world. Here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll look at the big strategic challenges that make project management so important today. Then, we'll get right into the nuts and bolts, the project itself. From there, we'll zoom out to see how projects fit into bigger things like programs and portfolios, look at the rules that keep them on track, and then tie it all together with the one thing that matters most, creating value.
All right, so first things first. Why is everyone talking about project management now more than ever? Well, it really starts with the world we're all operating in. Businesses today aren't just in a race. They're trying to navigate a wild, unpredictable landscape where the map is changing all the time.
And this brings us to the million-dollar question, right? It's one thing to have a brilliant strategy drawn up in a boardroom, but how do you actually execute it? How do you launch that new service or transform your business when the ground is literally shifting under your feet? And believe me, the ground is shifting. We're talking about massive forces here, things like climate change, political instability, and huge technological leaps like AI. These aren't just little bumps in the road, they're fundamentally changing the rules of the game. To stay ahead, you can't just react anymore. You need a powerful, systematic way to drive change from the inside out. So, how do you drive that kind of change? Well, you do it one focused effort at a time. And the fundamental building block for making anything new happen, for any strategic move, is the project. So let's take a closer look at what a project actually is. Okay, this definition might seem simple, but every word here is packed with meaning. Temporary, that means it has a definite start and a definite end. It doesn't go on forever. Unique, this means it's not just business as usual, it's something new. And maybe the most important part, to create value. A project has a purpose. It's meant to make something better. Now, this brings up a really key distinction. Projects are not the same thing as operations. Operations are your day-to-day work, the stuff that keeps the lights on and the business running. Think of an assembly line. That's operations. A project, on the other hand, is the temporary work it took to design, build, and launch that brand new, more efficient assembly line in the first place. One maintains, the other changes. You can think of every single project as a journey. It's designed to take an organization from its current state, where things are right now, through a whole series of planned activities to a specific future state. And that future state, that's where the new value is. The project is the bridge that gets you from here to there. Okay, so a single project can be powerful, but let's be real. Most companies are juggling dozens, maybe even hundreds of projects all at once. How do you keep all of that from turning into total chaos? You need a system. You need a way to organize all that work so it's all pulling in the same direction. The first layer of this system is the program. The two magic words here are related and coordinated. Imagine you're launching a new smartphone. You'd have a project for the camera, a project for the software, and a project for the battery. If you manage them all separately, you might get a disaster. But when you manage them together as a single program, you make sure they all work together seamlessly to create one amazing final product. And if we zoom out one more level, we get to the portfolio. This is the big picture. A portfolio isn't just about related projects. It's about looking at everything the organization is doing, all the projects, all the programs, and making sure it all lines up with the company's main strategic goals. A portfolio answers the big question: are we investing our money and people in the right places to win? You can really see the difference in how you measure success at each level. At the project level, success is pretty straightforward. Did we deliver what we promised, on time and on budget? For a program, it's about whether you got the combined benefits of all those related projects. But at the portfolio level, success is judged by one thing and one thing only: how much strategic value did all of these investments deliver for the organization as a whole? Okay, so we have this elegant system of projects, programs, and portfolios all working to get things done. But what keeps it all on track? What are the rules of the road that prevent things from going completely off the rails? Well, that's where something called governance comes in. Project governance is basically the specific rulebook for a single project. It lays out the structure, the roles, the responsibilities, and how decisions get made. It answers all the critical questions, like who has the authority to approve a major change? How are we going to report our progress? And who gets the final say if there's a disagreement? And it's really important not to confuse this with organizational governance. Think of it this way. If organizational governance is the constitution for the entire company, then project governance is like the specific bylaws written just for this one initiative, making sure it operates within the laws of that constitution.
At the heart of all this, you'll find the project manager. And let me tell you, this role has changed dramatically. It's no longer just about keeping track of tasks on a spreadsheet. A modern project manager has to be a strategist, a great communicator, and a true leader who can navigate really complex situations and make sure their project actually delivers that strategic value we've been talking about.
This all brings us to our final, and honestly, our most important section. We've talked about the what and the how of projects, but now we need to talk about the why. Why do we do all of this? What is the ultimate point of it all? The answer, in a single word, is value. But value isn't just about profit. It can be non-financial, it can be qualitative, and here's the key. It's seen differently by different people. For a customer, value might be a product that makes their life easier. For the community, value might be a project that's better for the environment. And so, when you put everything together, the portfolios, the programs, the projects, even the day-to-day operations, what you get is the organization's value delivery system. It is the entire machine that's designed to take ideas and investments and turn them into real benefits for everyone involved. And this, right here, is the one thing I really want you to take away from our time together. Effective project management is not some boring administrative task. It is a core strategic competency. It is the discipline an organization uses to achieve its goals and, ultimately, to create its own future. So, as we wrap up, I'll leave you with this question to chew on. The next time you're involved in a project, don't just ask what it's going to do or when it will be finished. Ask, what value will this project create and who is it for? Because that is what modern project management is all about.